Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Ep24, and of course, welcome back to No Context. Amazingly, this thing is actually working. So today's goal is to find out if we are going to be crafting our plane using our actual crafting base, or are we just going to spawn it in by purchasing all of the items individually using the payload terminals. Now, I've purposefully stayed away from the payload terminals up to this point, but let's find out just how bad our transport craft is going to be. Oh my god, 140 of the middle wings, 28 of the tail wings, 358 of the double blocks, 37 turbines, 58 brackets, 36 of the nose sections, 110 of the smaller versions. Oh, that is horrendous. So if we do make this, we're going to need to make some changes to this harvester, because this harvester is going to be used a lot. Because if we're not using payload terminals, that also means purchasing the resource blocks is out of the question. And that has been our challenge so far, to be fair. Okay, that's not too bad. That's just essentially wood. All of that comes from trees, so that's fine, because even that is just... I think it's actually just wood, yeah. So, that's fine. First item, how do we make the double block? Okay, the blue is a little bit annoying because that's hard to just harvest consistently, but still not too bad. Need some plumbeer as well. So both of those we can't harvest consistently and easily. So what I think we should do is focus on one block at a time, and that's it. That would be easy enough. Yeah, I think that's the way of doing things. And because we have our lovely little fabricator with us, we can always check what we need and make sure we're getting everything we need. So first of all then, what's the very first block? What's the first thing? Does it have to be that one, though? Okay, so trees. Basically, it wants us to kill lots, and lots, and lots, and lots of trees. So, begin with that. Let's just see how much of this resource we even have. Now, we should have quite a bit in our stockpile, because I have been killing trees using this harvester for a while. So, let's just put these down over here, let all of these be converted, and make as many as we have stockpiled. So here's a bit of a change of plan. We have collected so many things throughout playing this game, from killing enemies, doing missions, etc, etc. We have so much resources just laying around in these unused blocks. We can most likely build most of the plane without doing anything else. Just keep on scrapping stuff when we're low on resources, and just get everything crafted. I've already made over 70 of those wings, and that was just from the resource chunks and the little bit of scrapping you've seen me do right now. That's it. I think that's our plan. Scrap everything we have. I mean, why not? That's the whole point, is to convert these into something useful. Our only goal is to not use the payload terminal, so this is great. Let's see how far we can get before we need to go out and do any harvesting. And as you can see, we have our block bucks at the bottom, so you can tell if I cheat because the money will go down. Most likely it's going to go up because we're also selling stuff as we craft, so let's see how we go. Now, to begin with, I was avoiding using the regular small blocks. The reason is, to begin with, we were purchasing a lot of these from the stations, the trade stations. But most of these have came from just killing enemies. Almost all enemies up to this point drop the regular blocks, and we have loads of them. Hey Ep24, why don't you just use a magnet? Wouldn't that make everything easier? Well, the thing is, I really don't like using the magnets in this game. Now, here's a question. With the magnet, does the fabricator, well, the scrapper, grab from it? Answer is no. Now, it could be the order they were placed. That does sometimes make a difference, but no. How about if I move the magnet a little bit lower? Now, of course, what you can do is just remove the magnet when you want to use it, but use the items, that is, but still. That there. Okay, let's move that lower. Nope, the items grabbed by the magnet, though, are not being given up. Okay. Yeah, I just don't like the magnets in this game. I find they cause more issues than they solve, even when they're working as intended. So, it's been almost no time at all. We are making the turbines and the wings at the same time. We almost have all the turbines done already, and we are far, far past the halfway point for the wings. This is going so much faster than expected. Also, the idea of using the unused fabricators to simply break down all the other stuff we're creating, I think is much better than adding more silos, because we can have unlimited overflow and have absolutely no problems. Except for this one really glitched out block. But let's ignore that, because I was trying to make a point. I know this may look boring, so I'm skipping a lot of this. I was going to do a time-lapse, but it looks so messy it would make some terrible footage. But I'm actually loving this episode so far. The reason is, I feel like this is the end result of all of the other episodes, because I'm using the expensive materials finally, all of the items I've been collecting are finally making some kind of use. Everything seems to just be coming together in one final huge build. Now, this isn't necessarily the final build of the series, but it is definitely getting close, let's say that much. Turbines are done, wings are only 10 off, we are now making the conveyors and almost done with that, and it's only been 2 day cycles. Yeah, this is fine. Lathrix, why haven't you just been using 2 fabricators? Because I didn't think about that. That's why. Oh good, finally we're using Plumbia. I really should have activated that way earlier, that would have made half of the issues completely void. There we are, the blocks simply go back in, and you can stop making Plumbia blocks. I should just make some more Venture Fabricators. As long as they don't mess up too much, yeah, using multiple seems to be the way to go. Yeah, there we go, they're both activating, both working. That's all 3 are. Good, good. Yep, I just made 1 more Fabricator. Now, I don't think I'd want to use more than 3 on this thing. It does seem like the more fabricators you have running, the more likely things are to miss and just really mess up, so that's all we're doing for now. Next, I'll make you... Wow, you are expensive. Thankfully, we're not making too many of those, but still, enough to be a bit of an issue. And there we are. Now, do we have any of the blue resource already stocked? Is the question. Yes, we do. In fact, we have lots of it. Good. Sadly, I've already finished making the wings, which is a shame, because it turns out the Hawkeye wheels, a lot of them, give you these. The plating, which is required for the wings. Yep, 1 wheel makes, like, 5 wings worth of stuff. From now on, I'm checking items I scrap, rather than just seeing the raw resources. I can't believe this, but we're only around about 100 blocks off, and as you can see, they're getting made rather quickly. I've also moved the fabricators from down here up to here, since we no longer need to use the component factories, and that has really sped up how fast we're creating pretty much everything. Now, using multiple fabricators, I have to say, didn't really help all that much. They seem to not work well together, and maybe there's a way around that, but honestly, this has took almost no time at all, so not really too concerned. There will never be a time where the Nimble Thimble is completely irrelevant. Lovely. We're almost there now, we just need a couple of the slope blocks and we are completely finished. Now, I could have made this all more efficient and faster, but honestly, because of how fast it's all went, I think it's just easier just leaving this in its current form, all nice and shown off. Who's ready for some serious lag? Oh, come on, there has to be somewhere I can place this. Wow, that's bigger than I thought it was. It's almost as big as the base. Okay, so there we are. The lovely plane is spawned in. So, one thing I want to do very quickly is just alter how this back section is. So the problem right now is that unless we completely fill the plane, half of the well, in fact, all of the resources will go one side and then fill the other side. Of course, this is a problem. So what we're going to use is an alternator, which of course I don't have it. Yes, I do have some spare ones, some alternator conveyors, just to make sure it's split at the very start. Okay, I'll do that off camera because, well, it's really laggy right now. And finally, God, this is going to look bad. Or, actually no, it's going to look really satisfying, but my God, it's going to be bad. plop. Oh, I didn't even get to see them hit the floor. So the idea is now we're going to use the Nimble Thimble once all that is completely devoured. Cool. There we are, to load up the plane. Oh, whoops daisy. There we go. Oh, that is so satisfying to watch. Look at that! That's so cool! Really happy with that. Look at that. Now, we could make this faster, obviously. All we need to do is just add a few more receivers and such, but still. And then on the other side, there is, if I go back onto the plane, we have a thimble collector here, which will give to a receiver. So essentially the opposite way around. Words, yo. Now, of course, there is very little reason to do what we're doing right now. It would have been much easier to just turn all of the blocks into resource blocks. You know, the chunks into blocks, I should say. But at least this way we get every single resource. And it looks really cool. Here we go, finally the takeoff. Now I have slightly lowered the maximum speed, which means taking off is a little bit more difficult, but it should be safer for the resources we have. Oh, just about making it. An enemy will probably take some shots. Please do not hit us. And there we are. Lovely. Let's just straighten ourselves up now. And we are finally on our way. So I've decided we're going to go west, because I don't feel like I've been that way too much. Really not happy with the render distance still. But either way, we're going west, and hopefully we can find somewhere interesting. So realistically, I'm looking most likely for either salt flats with lots of stuff around it to make it look interesting, or a nice flat section of the grassland. I just don't want to see the mountains anymore. We've been around the mountains for far too long in the previous few episodes, so now I think it's time we have a nice change of scenery. I've got to be honest, I am so happy with how this has turned out. Just look at this thing. It might not be the most beautiful build in the world, but for someone who struggles to have large builds sort of follow a pattern, and especially is really bad at building plane shapes, I'm happy with this. I really am. Turn a little bit more to the left. Oh wait, no, to the right. I was looking at the map upside down then. That did not help. And so we just continue. What I think I'm going to do is wait until our world position is at minus 10,000. A, because I actually have a lot of fun flying this thing. Ooh, look at that over there. That looks nice. And B, because I want to get as far away as possible. Let's have a brand new area to explore. Just to make sure I don't end up accidentally going back to the same places when I'm using faster craft and such. We could be a little bit weird and build on an ice biome. So the problem with the ice biome is very obvious. You're going to slide. Every mobile tech you place here is going to slide horribly, and it's going to be really difficult to do anything with any real precision. But it does look really nice. I think if we find a really nice looking ice biome, I might build there. But it would have to be something quite special. I know this has been quite a relaxing video, perhaps even bordering on boring, because, well, we've just been building this and scrapping stuff. But I've really enjoyed it so far. It's just been so nice. And I really like flying this plane. It's so much, well, it's just so different compared with everything else I flew before, since it's so sluggish in its turning. Ooh, I just saw some stuff. That's about as fast as I would have ever braved turning this thing, especially whilst holding resources. Ooh, so we have some ruins, then the grassy hills. If that was flat, I think I would have definitely built here, but no, sadly not. The hunt continues, but we certainly are far enough away now. Down there's interesting. Be like a little safe area. That's very flat, and it's attached to an ice biome. The question is, what is this biome like? Not fantastic. Oh! Up, up, up! Avoid that shooting, please. Ooh, but there's some steam. We could place the base on these steam geysers, and it is fully surrounded by ice. Definitely a potential candidate. Don't you hate when the moon causes the terrain to go completely black? That's an odd real-world problem, right? Now that looks cool. No pun intended. So we have the ice biome with that huge rock there, and then deserts and nothing I really want around it. Darn it! Since I don't want to move again, possibly at all this season, I'm being very picky on where we're eventually going to stay. The low draw distance is not helping, but eventually I'll find somewhere to call home. And sold. Yep, this is it. Oh yeah, definitely. Even some rocks in the background. There is an enemy about to spawn though, so let's not do that. Oh, tiny little enemy, okay. Well, I'll make another run for it once that enemy's despawned, and I think we have found our new home. Definitely. And there we are. A nice landing, no damage taken, defense turrets down. We have found our new place to live. Yeah, that looks awesome. We have the rock formation over there. We have all of this to look out on. This area is nice and flat here. And we even have steam geysers right there. So if we want to use that for our base, we could put our base there, or at least close to it. No! We put our base here and then make a power station, which then feeds it power. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Lovely. Is that the newest version? Yep, it's got all the Hawkeye attachments. There we go. Oh, now which way do I want this to be? I really need to start double-clicking to move from one tech to the other so I can stop accidentally swapping all these things around. There we go. That's back to how it should be. I kind of like it like this, since then when you're building you can see from the side, but that looks a bit weird. So I'm thinking maybe like... Oh god, the frame rate right now with the plane out as well. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, this is the version with the venture fabricators up here. Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, wrong version. Do the other version. An enemy nearby, that's fine. Our defense turrets will happily take care of that. So let's remove you. Put down the other version, which I hope still has all the Hawkeye stuff, but doesn't have all the venture fabricators taking the place of the component factories. And now, using a dropper, because I think it'll just look more fun. That was a little bit odd. Let's try and stay a little bit further away. There we go. And the base is being filled up once again. Overall, this was definitely the most difficult way to possibly do this, but it was also a lot of fun and a learning experience when it comes to how bad a lot of things hold onto resources. It was very difficult to get these resources here, but look, it's all working out for the best, and now we have all of these venture blocks, so if we want to make some other venture craft, we certainly can. Or, we could always just convert this into some kind of bomber, which would be sort of terrifying. Well, I'm afraid though, for now I am all out of time for today's video. In the next video, we'll be making this place a little bit more like our home, setting up a power station to transfer power over here, setting up some mining areas, and watching some really weird dancing resources. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.